United States Hot Rod Association action. Hi again, everyone. I'm Scott Douglas. We're back at the Houston Astrodome with certainly one of the most unique classes of competition on the U.S. Hot Rod Association circuit. If you like classic vehicles, you're going to love the hot rod class. Let's meet the lineup we'll see in Houston. Dan Coelho's beautiful 67 Corvette. Here's the 1950 Mercury of Butch Schultz. We'll see him in action against the likes of Ron Warscow and the 1934 Chevy Coupe. Bill Roseburg's classic 1957 Chevy. Bobby Johns brings us the hot 56 Thunderbird. Troy Warscow and the 34 Ford Roadster. Mike Hoff and the 32 Ford Coupe. And how about the 49 Austin of Andy Hoffman? Classic competition. The point here is not just to complete a full pull, but here, these powerful hot rodders actually have to do it quickly. It's not a competition of distance. The full pull's a foregone conclusion. It's how fast can you do it? Oh boy, and as soon as we say that, big problems for the 67 Corvette of Dan Coelho out of Turlock, California. A terrible break. Something went awry on the 67 Corvette, and so he will not have a recorded time. It's simply not a full pull for the 67 Corvette and Dan Coelho. A tough break for that classic. It's officially a DQ. The 1950 Mercury, Butch Schultz, will now put down the first time at the Houston Astrodome in hot rod pulling competition. Slack is out, green on the track. Here comes Schultz. Butch really struggling at the start. That's going to cost him some time. But look at him make up distance and ground at the end. Still, I don't think he's going to be happy because of the start. But once he got it rolling, that Mercury was cooking. The time is 9.14 seconds for Butch Schultz and the 50 Mercury, 9.14. You have to get into the fast four to make it into round two. The competition is set up to eventually get one champion, and first we've got to eliminate four. Now you're looking at the 56 Thunderbird of Bobby Johns, and he certainly has pushed himself in front of the first two we've seen, because that was an outstanding run, and he didn't have the problems at the start the Mercury had a little earlier. The time for the 56 Thunderbird is 7.26 seconds. That is now the time to beat, but more importantly, he hopes that's enough to get him into the round of four. The second round will just be four of these hot rodders left, and it's the fastest four from the first round. Chevy Coupe, 34 variety. He calls it flashback. Ron Warscow. Time to beat is 7.26. Ooh, a little bit of a funny hop at the beginning, but he's cranking a nice run out. The 34 Chevy Coupe lays down an outstanding run, and it will be our new fast time, 7.15 for Ron Warscow and the 34 Chevy Coupe that he calls flashback. And if he wouldn't have had that bobble at the beginning, no telling how quick that run would have been. Here comes Bill Roseburg and the 57 Chevy. Really seemed to be laboring and didn't get a whole lot of top end speed. Roseburg's time a little slower than the last couple we've seen. It'll come in at a little bit over 8 seconds, apparently. 8.10 for the 57 Chevy of Roseburg out of Alberton, Pennsylvania. Boy, is that a beauty. 57 Chevrolet. The time again, 8.10. The time to beat remains the 7.15, the Chevy Coupe of Warscow. And the time to beat to make the fast four, you've got to beat Butch Schultz's 9.14. Here comes Troy Warscow. This is the Ford Roadster, 34 variety. He calls it Impulse. Trying to beat the 7.15 time of the 34 Chevy Coupe. Nice smooth start. This is a good looking run. Superb run for Impulse. Troy Warscow, the 34 Ford Roadster. That may be the best we've seen. Let's look at it again on the replay. You can tell right off the start that he was going to have a good one. Nice, smooth start. No problems getting off the line. And did he pick up speed at the back end? And it is the fastest time so far. 5.19, the 34 Ford Roadster Impulse, Troy Warscow. Now, Mike Hoff brings out the 32 Ford Coupe. Boy, are all these hot rodders classics or what? These are some beautiful, beautiful machines. You have to beat 8.10 to make the fast four. 5.19 is the fast time. Another good start. Now he's got a little bit of a hop in the middle of the track. But the back end looks superb, and Mike Hoff should clearly make it into the fast four and the second round. There's the little bounce, but he didn't let it deter him. He probably had to let off of it just a bit. But after that, Hoff really was able to pound the pedal to the metal, and he gets an outstanding time. Second best so far, 6.27. He's safely into the second round. And our final first round competitor, look at that baby. 1949 Austin. This is Andy Hoffman. Time to beat if you want to be the fastest, 5.19. Time to beat to make it into the fast four, 7.26. That'll get you into the second round. And it's just not happening at all for the Austin of Andy Hoffman. Well, it doesn't sound good, and you can see really not getting any speed generated. Just not a great run there for Andy Hoffman. As we look at the Austin again, you can see it's just not hitting for him. And the time is quite slow at 9.77. So Andy Hoffman not able to crack into the second round. There will be four coming back for our second round of competition, and they will be the 34 Ford Roadster of Troy Warscow, Mike Hoff's 32 Ford Coupe, Ron Warshkaw's 34 Chevy Coupe, and Bobby John's 56 Thunderbird. The 57 Chevy ends up in the number 5 spot. The 50 Mercury, the 49 Austin, and the 67 Corvette rounded out the first round. Back for round number 2 at the Astrodome on Super Tracks. And first up, it'll be Impulse, the 1934 Ford Roadster of Troy Warscow. Again, he's so smooth at the start. A little hop in the middle, but he's got it going. Good looking run. Hold on. Right out the back door of the Astrodome. Literally. Troy Warscow and the 34 Ford Roadster. Impulse indeed. Wow. The time, 6.20. Excellent run for Troy Warscow. Let's watch it again. You can see the hop in the middle cost him a little bit of time, but really not much. And he is flat hammering down when he hits that finish line. 6.2 official time. That's the time to beat. In round 2, the whole point is to be one of the fastest 2. Then you'll get to come back in the championship matchup. The 32 Ford Coupe of Mike Hoff is next up. Trying to beat 6.20 of Troy Warscow. A lot of speed at the finish line for Mike Hoff and the 32 Ford Coupe. Should be very, very close to the time of the Ford Roadster Impulse that had a 6.2 a moment ago. Let's look at the replay, and as he comes down, Mike Hoff and the 32 Ford Coupe has actually taken the lead. The time, 6.16, and Mike Hoff, the 32 Ford Coupe, now has the lead over Troy Warscow and the Ford Roadster. But the bottom line is to be the fast 2. So both of them still could be knocked out, or they both could be alive. Here's the Chevy Coupe, 1934 Flashbacks. The name of it, Ron Warscow. Kicking up a lot of chalk line dust, a pretty good run. Let's see if it's enough to get underneath the 6.20 that it takes to make the finals. While we wait for the time, we're going to look at a replay once again of the 34 Chevy Coupe. Ron Warscow calls her Flashback. You can see he's kicking up a lot of dust from the chalk line. That's not engine smoke, that's from the chalk. And it's a good run. However, not good enough to make it into the finals. The 1934 Chevy Coupe known as Flashback, Ron Warscow, putting down a time of 7.08. You got to beat 6.20 to make it into the finals, and you got to beat 6.16 to be the fastest. Here's the 56 Ford Thunderbird of Bobby John. Never really got a lot of top-end speed. I don't think that's going to be enough to crack the finals. He had to get under 6.20, and at least to the naked eye, it certainly didn't look like it. The classic 56 Thunderbird looking good, but not looking fast enough on this date in the Houston Astrodome with a time of 7.31. Bobby Johns and the 56 Thunderbird eliminated. So that means into the finals, it'll be the 32 Ford Coupe of Mike Hoff and the 34 Ford Roadster known as Impulse of Troy Warscow. The Chevy Coupe is third, the Thunderbird fourth. And now they go side by side, and the clock no longer matters. It's can you beat the man you're starting against. Impulse, that's the 34 Ford Roadster closest to you, Troy Warscow, side by side against Mike Hoff and that bright red 32 Ford Coupe. The Ford Coupe has the slack out, and Mike Hoff is ready to go. Now closest to you, the 34 Ford Roadster will take the slack out of the chain. He's ready to go. Showtime! The advantage goes to the 32 Ford Coupe, and it will be a victory for Mike Hoff and the 32 Ford Coupe as he defeats the 34 Ford Roadster of Troy Warscow. Let's watch it again on the replay. They both got a good start, but about 20 feet into it, it was clear that Mike Hoff was able to generate a little bit more power in that 32 Ford Coupe, and Hoff holds on for a solid car-length victory to win the hot rod pull at the Houston Astrodome here on Super Tracks. Mike Hoff coming out and taking a bow in that 32 Ford Coupe to claim the victory among the classic cars in what is the newest of the U.S. Hot Rod Association divisions, and certainly rates as one of the most unique. It's kind of the new old cars here on the U.S. Hot Rod Association circuit. The hot rods actually are 1967 or older. That's the way the rules read in the U.S. Hot Rod Association rule book. And when you consider how popular hot rodding is and rod runs are all over the country, you'll see street rod shows in virtually every city in this country, and it's become a craze, if you will, this classic car phenomenon, and now it's a part of the United States Hot Rod Association. So when you see a U.S. Hot Rod Association event coming to your town, look for the hot rod pullers. You're really going to enjoy them, and certainly, as we saw in the Houston Astrodome, the competition is going to be up to the incredible standards of the United States Hot Rod Association. What a